Hello and welcome to Ditto 3.4 overview. I'm going to show you a quick way to get started in case you just got Ditto version 3.4. So first you want to make sure you have version 4.3.2 installed. And if you need help installing Blender, go ahead and go to blender.org/download. And you should be able to locate the download for this version. So you will go to, let's see, Edit, Preferences, and for Ditto it's an extension, so go to Get Extensions, then go to this arrow and install from disk wherever you saved Ditto. Now, once you get it installed, you may be wondering where it is. It's over here in the side panel, so in case your side panel looks like this or this, right where it says Ditto, just click on this tab. If it's closed, go ahead and press the N key on your keyboard and it should open up the panel. And then you have these panels which can be rearranged, closed, so you have some customizing capabilities. So we got Ditto version 3.4. This is the main, starting panel that you'll have access to. We got objects. These are the custom objects in Ditto. These are called the Ditto tools, the ones in red, and then the other ones are just Ditto objects with modifiers to help with your customization and blending. And we have the viewer. This is where you will be operating from Ditto most of the time once you have the Ditto object selected, or if you have one of the Ditto tools selected. And links to documentation, YouTube playlists, Discord, and if you want to donate. So you can usually close these links. Now give me 1 second. Alright, so if you're first starting out, I would recommend going to Ditto layers right here, the very first top left corner. So when you click on Ditto layers, it will create this entire setup all ready to go with all the Ditto layers inside DLL. And you got 10 layers, and the layers do not blend with each other. In this version, they only blend on each layer, and then they all get combined into a single object at the very end. So talking about this object, when you click on object, you also get an extra menu. This will allow you to change settings, mainly you'll use it to change to a wire setting so you can see the Ditto object underneath, and then a bounds if you want to create bounds to select the object easier. But what we're going to talk about right now is the unlock all and lock all. So Ditto objects come with everything locked, so when you're creating, everything is neat and sound and you won't accidentally move it or scale it up and cause all sorts of problems you weren't intending. When you're done, for instance, I will select here and I'll hit convert to mesh, and that will create a new object. Then hit unlock all. As you saw, it unlocked everything for the transforms. So you just need to do those two actions and you're good to go. And in case you want to lock all of it again, you just click there. Now go ahead and delete this. So let me show you some blending. So if I add sphere and a cube, make sure you have the collection you want to add it to selected. You can add it outside of a collection too. That's also another technique you can do. That's a fast method. But I'll show you what these can do when they're in the same collection. As you can see, there's a slight blending going on. And if we click inside, and if it doesn't look like this, if your scene looks like this, go ahead and go over to viewport shading up here, and that will change it to where it looks like this. So just to keep showing you if you click on the Ditto object, we go over to Viewer. Just to get you started, I will show you the resolution settings right here. So you can keep this at a high number and then just reduce it. The higher the reduce is, the higher it's dividing itself for the resolution. And then the lower it is, the more of the resolution it actually is. So right now it's 256, and this should be half that, and this should be 4 times or divided by 4, and then 6, and then all the way to 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And 3 is usually a good starting point. 2 is a good working point. So like, let me show you the blending. So you use this to blend, and as you can see, it's when it blends, it retains the original shape. That's why you see all the squares. You use this to smooth and get back a nice shape, and this is in real time. So from a distance, it will be blending by this much until it reaches a close proximity, and then you just click back on the object, and it's on reduction 3. If we turn blend, well, you don't have to turn the blend off. If you click whole, this is infinite blend, so it will always be connected no matter where it is. This is good for anything you're working with that's really close together. Now let me explain the hide feature. The hide feature will completely hide that entire layer, and the resolution would be non-existent, so it will speed up all your other layers you're working on. So in case you have all the settings exactly where you want it, you can click hide and then not worry about it slowing down your workflow. So if any of these were slowing down, this is how you speed it up. Or you can use the reduce feature and just have it everything you want it to be on 1, and then reduce it to 5 so you have a little preview. And that's another way to go about it. So reduce this down. So you know about resolution, reducing resolution, blend, whole. Smoothing is going to smooth everything, and smooth weight is going to keep that as the maximum smooth, and then you can gradually adjust it to where you want it to be. So if you just want it to be a little tiny smooth, then this is the way you can achieve that. Here are the color settings, so you can change each layer to a different color of your choosing, which will help with creating. And material settings, so if you don't like that material, I have some custom made Ditto materials to help you like also distinguish what part is what. And color isn't a main feature in Ditto anymore. It was having some problems with double color. You can only see it if you start blending and smoothing after a certain amount. I'll probably re-add it back in, but right now I just gonna implement only a single color per layer, and for Ditto bool up here is a single color per boolean now. So besides the blending, what makes Ditto so special? Let me show you. So if you go into edit mode of your object, you can move the vertices, and it acts like a lattice. So you can change the shape. You press Alt-Z, you can see behind the object, as long as it doesn't have like extrude on the object acting on it. You can see behind it, and this will allow you to adjust the shape to like nearly anything you can think of. And let's say we go out of here, make sure you click the layer you want to have selected. You can add normal objects from Blender, and I'm going to rotate it and adjust it here scale it down a little bit, put it on the end, or we'll put it right here. Rotate this, or we'll just leave it the same. Anyway, go over here, set wire, and you can see it's really round right now. So let's say you wanted to make this a sharp edge. Just click Ditto. We're at 3. We're going to unsmooth it. And we're going to blend, or we're going to reduce it by 1 and then blend a little bit. So now, as you can see, kind of looks like a surfboard. And just take this, put it right here. Kind of looks like a boat. So basically now we got a sharp object, and when you rotate it, because of the blend setting, we're retaining that original shape. So as long as you want to blend, this is a viable option. The other way to retain that sharp edge is to increase resolution, but that will slow everything down. So you want to choose what you want to do at the right times to make sure you have proper speeds and optimization. So let's say I wanted to blend between this object, but I want this object to be on a different layer and blending with another object. So let's create this object, but I don't want this object to blend, so I'm going to move this object to blend with the new layer. And so we're going to take this one, we're going to link to collection, locate the layer that we want, and for us it would be DL2. So now this one's blending in between both, and you're going to notice that it has both blending modes, but this one no longer blends with this layer. And if you click it, this is how you go to a different layer. So click up here and it will go to layer 2. Now go ahead and reduce it by 1, blend a little bit, and you may notice it's a little bit slow. In case you want to increase speed, just go back to the first layer up here. You can either hide it or reduce it down. We're going to reduce it down to see if it increases speed. Yep, increase the speed, so it's a lot faster now. This allows you to work really fast between objects. Now you can adjust this however you want, and I'm just showing you the link in between. And right now this is how you get through. There we go. So we got a really nice blending. That's how we get through blending between multiple layers. So like if you want to add ears, but the ears it needs to be more intricate, you probably use one layer to make the ear shape, another layer to put things inside the ear, which is Ditto objects or Ditto tools. And yeah, you'd just be doing that to create. Now let me show you another one, Ditto Boolean. This one I gave you a setup so you can work with it pretty quickly. And for this one, it has everything implemented inside. So here, you just make sure this is selected, and this is how you go between each layer. Each layer is set to hide on after the first one, so it doesn't slow down or mess up anything that's going on. So difference, since it's one color, is kind of hard to see, but let's go ahead and go here. You can see that's cutting in. I'm gonna press Alt-Z to turn this off. This is what Alt-Z turns on and off. So now we're cutting in the object. So this may work or may not. Sometimes you'll get glitches. That's just a blender. And if you get glitches, I got different options. So here's the hide option. The hide option will hide the boolean. Union combines it together. Difference cuts it, and intersects like shows you what it will be like if they're intersecting with each other. So go back to difference. We got self-intersect and hold tolerant. You can play with these to see what works and what doesn't. They slow down, but sometimes they'll get accurate shape. We got vox mode, which is like an in-between shape that uses the voxelization to actually calculate, and it uses the resolution here. So as you increase resolution, it will change the vox settings. You can also reduce it by going here. And let's see, this is the, let me show you the exact. If the exact is not working, you might want to play with some settings, but sometimes all you gotta do is move this here. Vox kind of acts like an in-between. It's like closer to what exact would be with voxelization, but it's still usable and faster than what you would normally get based on your resolution settings, of course. Let me check, make sure. Well, something seems to be up with the resolution settings. I'm not sure what. Well, I think it's using the last one for the resolution. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to check that. I'll put that on the list to fix. Alright, so remesh turns on the remesh settings, which is based on the voxelization too, so that seems to be working. Okay, so it seems to be working now. I guess you have to have remesh on. Let me check. Oh, I have it backwards. Fast is voxelization, and vox is fast, and this is exact. Okay, so the buttons are out of order. Alright. So I'll fix that in an upcoming update. So right now, this is voxelization. Where it says vox, this is fast, I believe. Or exact, one of them. I'm gonna have to go back and check these real quick. But vox is supposed to be a slightly faster way to blend while retaining a like similar mode to exact, but it got some issues. I'm gonna update it. So let's see. You know what smooth does? Smooth smooths the entire thing. If we add another layer, you just hit unhide after you click it, and then you'll add something in here. So in layer 3, let's say I wanted to make this one a union, so I'll just do that. So we have it difference on one layer, union on another layer, and it's all a single color. So unfortunately right now you have to kind of work around it. If you hit wireframe, you can tell which mode it's on. And right now exact doesn't seem to be working. Not sure why. I'm gonna have to check it. But besides that, I hope this got you a quick start. I didn't go over everything. You have plenty of things you can play with. And let me just show you one more thing. So if we did a Ditto tool, for instance, the Ditto curve, I feel like a lot of people will have trouble with the Ditto curve because it has so many options. So once you have it selected, if it's hard selecting it, select the edge, or you can select it over here in the outliner. So this is instance mode where it has objects. You can reduce the count down. So right now it has like square objects, cubes, change it to icospheres, change it to UV spheres, and the settings to adjust the UV spheres are down here. The segments and the rings, and the lower quality it is, the faster it will be in Ditto. Just to let you know, if you like use 30 of these, it will be super slow. So you don't want to do that. But you can go through all these, and this has a custom collection you can set up, but you can't select it from here. You'll have to go inside the Ditto curve and go to instancing, or let's see. This is where you select the custom objects and custom collections to use. And just be warned, that will slow things down a lot too. So I don't recommend using it, but it's there, the custom object, custom collections. So you can use a curve to like just create a list of cubes and spheres. You click here, it turns it into profile mode. So you go in between here, you can change the different profile, which will take on the outer edge of the curve. And there's another one in here, quadrilateral. So this has its own set of menus too. This is the only one that has different menus, quadrilateral, and you can adjust the width and height and offset. And all these settings will change. If you change it for one, it changes it for every single setting. So just to give you an example. So one of the easiest ones to use is circle curve. And you wonder why it looks like it's crisscross. It's because it's being mirrored, and we need to select something to mirror it. So now it's only one, because it was two curves before. And that's why it appears like that, because it's already being mirrored. So you could quickly make things like claws or horns for your character and use a curve to bend it. And yeah, that's what it's there for. It's there to help you make things really fast. But you'll notice if it looks off like that, this is a boolean, so you would have to either change the setting, which uses Vox. For some reason, I have to get it fixed. Or you can use this and increase the resolution until it starts looking right, which may take a while. But you have to change the smoothness too if you're using smooth. So that's Boolean, and it may need some fixing. But I hope this helped you get a quick start for using Ditto. And let me show you the Ditto objects here. We got 2D, so 2D would be a flat object and it's set to wireframe and it's ready to go. Basically, you only need to adjust on a two-dimensional plane. You can still adjust it in 3D, But this is for you just to help you like get long, quick shapes and flat shapes. So you just want a section, you can just do that and it will help create a bump without having to go all inside the object. But let's see. Yeah, this menu is for, you pull it out, it may start looking weird, but dual mesh, like I wouldn't not use any of these settings except for like dual mesh. I turned it off. So if you want to turn it back on, you just go over here and turn it back on. Dual mesh will swap everything out and flip it, or it will swap everything out. And extrude is where things get problematic. You won't be able to see where you can change things. So I wouldn't use extrude, but I put Ditto post there just in case, and a fix to try to get it to work with it. But you got 3D objects, you got 2D objects you can use to adjust in a 3D form. And it's just an extrude, and you got Ditto tools. I like to use the Ditto skin, and I can show you how this works. So Ditto skin, go ahead and move it so you can see it has mirror already set. You just have to choose the mirror object, and that will get you what you're trying to do. So let's say you create another object and it appears as a sphere, but as soon as you extrude it, it's gone. You just select this object, go over to where the skin is, and click mark root, and there you go. Now your object's showing. It has to have a root, and in order to scale it, you just press Control A, and you can scale it up or down. And if you press X or Y, you can scale it flat along the X or Y. So this gives you a lot of options, and it's kind of like a curve tool. You can use it as like a curve tool, but you can't really control the rotation all that well. You have to kind of figure that out on your own. But I hope you enjoyed this overview. Sorry for the problems, and I'll get started on figuring out a fix for them. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy using Ditto. See you later.